Welcome race fans to our monthly PAD race. Brought to you by PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. You can find more information out at www.padd.org. I am Scott Kolovic here, announcer for the evening. We are getting ready to kick off 125 laps out here at Auto Club. Going to be a great night out here on this 2-mile speedway out here running for PAD. Great weather, solid, sitting at 65 degrees, a little bit cloudy on this here Sunday night race at Auto Club. But I tell you what, these boys are geared up, reared up, and ready to rock and roll. And you're going to see a lot of purple out here. As we all know, purple was the favorite color of our deceased Angel Nikki Clenny, killed by a driver that chose to text and drive. And as the night goes on tonight, we're going to be talking about PAD off and on, talking about Nikki, learning a little bit about Nikki's story. Getting ready to kick off 125 laps at Auto Club. Drivers are wrapping up their qualifying times, getting ready to roll. Taking a look at some of those qualifying times out here. Out there on the front line, we have got Travis Browder. Absolutely no surprise there for Travis Browder starting us off tonight with a 39.438, side by side with Dustin Lee with a 39.463. Mitchell Reeves sitting in third position. Donald Stewart sitting in fourth. And Bobby Everhart sitting in fifth position. Amazing looking top five. Mark Jackson, big supporter of PAD, sitting in sixth. Jason Russo, our Tuesday night Pro Automotive sponsor, seventh position, side by side with Damon Gilbert. Edward Bray in ninth. Pat Rushaw sitting in 10th position. Position 11 belonging to Sean Dower. Tristan Beats sitting in 12th. 13th, Jake Ritchie. Big shout out there to my good friend Jake. 16th position belonging to Jack Watts. Lee Staples sitting in 17th. Lloyd Saunders 18th, Anthony Poston in 19th, and Glenn Jameson sitting in 20th. 21st, we've got Jay Dargett. Ross Smith sitting in 22nd, Freeman Kelly. 23rd, David Casia sitting back in position 24. Gary Whitmer Jr., 26th, Richard Brose sitting in 25th. Ivan Garcia in position 27th. James Brown 29th, and John Henderson back in 30th. 31st belonging to Ronald Klein, Gary Whitmer 32nd. Kevin Scott Nelson in 33rd. Lee Ryerson, Joel Guy, Ben Gear, Chris Hogue, and Danny Rudy sitting back in the rear of our field in position 38. Huge field out here. A lot of drivers coming out to show their support of PAD. But I tell you what, the number one driver out here right now out there on that pole position, we have got Travis Browder getting ready to kick us off for 125 laps at Auto Club. Now, we used to run these PAD races out at Talladega, but honestly, the boys were getting a little bit too hot and heavy out at Talladega, and we were having a bit heavy on the cautions, to say the least. So we moved it over here to Auto Club. Very wide 2-mile track. Rarely do we have more than 1 or 2 cautions out here at Auto Club. Hopefully, that same trend will take place tonight. Travis Browder already getting it on out there. Nice start out there by Travis Browder. A lot of drivers out here tonight. 38 drivers taking the field. Looking at it from blimp view, and you can indeed see how wide this 2-mile track is. Single line formation for our top 4 early on. Double file action for 5th and 6th position. Travis Browder, Dustin Lee, Mitchell Reeves, Donald Stewart, our top 4. 5th position, Bobby Everhart. Already racing hard with Damon Gilbert and Mark Jackson. Now, Mark Jackson, huge supporter of Fan. Working with a great painter, Over the Top Designs, Over the Top Paints and Designs. My personal painter, another huge supporter of Pad. And we're going to take a look at some of these great looking pad trucks while these drivers are running around this very wide 2-mile speedway. Mark Jackson on the wheels, showing his support for Pad. Now, one thing about Pad, you'll notice a lot of purple, and that was the favorite color of young Nicky. So we always try to get these drivers dressed up in their purple rims. Number 71, Bobby Everhart, driving the Toyota Tundra, all decked out in purple. Hey, I want to give a big shout out there to Bobby Everhart. Donald Stewart in the number 78, purple rims. Good job there for Donald Stewart. Mitchell Reeves in the 02, sitting in 3rd place. Dustin Lee, 2nd, and young Travis Browder out there in the number 51, leading the first 3 laps of 125. Edward Bray in a brand new paint scheme right out of the paint booth, showing his support for Pad. Rocking the logo of Pad up there on the hood of his Chevy Silverado. Side by side with Jason Russo. Edward Bray looking very sharp out here tonight in 8th position. Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor. Big shout out to Jason Russo. Now, this coming week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be running Charlotte. Going to be a lot of fun out there. The boys have been calling for Charlotte for quite some time. Check us out on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday as the boys do run at Charlotte. Jason Russo in that number 14, side by side with Edward Bray. Sean Dewar in the number 62, representing Old School, sitting in 10th position. Sean looking very sharp out here tonight in the Chevy Silverado. Side by side with the number 211 of Tristan Beats. Number 9, Pat Rouchet, tight in tow. Caution is out. Checking out and seeing what happened here with the number 22. Appears that the 22 getting into the number 111. Just a hair. Watching the yellow truck of John Henderson and the red truck, the 111. And ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what has brought out our first caution of the night. Contact between the 22 and the 111. 72 sliding by. 3, nearly a miss. But that is something that is also really good about this huge track. When that caution does fly out there, there's a lot of room for the drivers not to get distracted and to be able to find their way through the smoke and the melee. It appears that our first caution of the night on lap 5 only involved 2 drivers, the 22 and the 111, but nonetheless, first caution of the night out in our monthly Race 4 Pad. Travis Browder leading 6 laps. While we are under caution, going to give you a little bit of background information about Pad. Now, Mike Kaleni is the father of our dearly departed Nicky Kaleni. Nikki was in her teenage years in the back seat of a vehicle, and the driver of the vehicle she was riding in decided that she wanted to do a little bit of texting while she was driving. Well, it didn't work out so well. At an intersection, I do believe, an accident occurred. Driver walks away, and we're glad, of course, that that driver did walk away. We want nobody to die out there, but unfortunately, innocent backseat passenger Nikki Clenny lost her life. Just a terrible, heartbreaking story right there. Nonetheless, Mike Clenny, father of Nikki, decided he wanted to do something to try to save lives and put an end to the senseless tragedies that were going on out there with the texting and driving. So he created PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Here at KMA, we do our best to support PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. And we want to remind our fans and our drivers and the friends and the families of our drivers about how important PAD is. One of those drivers I always like to talk to about PAD is Travis Browder, young driver, firm believer of PAD. How about it, Travis? Have you got a copy?
Hi, Captain. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. Tell us all about PAD.
People Against Distracted Driving. The big shout out to Mike Clenny for tonight's sponsor. PAD is like you got to stay focused on the road. Like if you're driving distracted, like texting or whatever you're doing on the road, but you got to stay focused on the road 100% of the time. So it's all about PAD tonight. So we're gonna put on a good show here.
Now, talk to me about the track. We have moved out of Talladega. We've moved it over to Auto Club, a much bigger track, a much wider track. What are your thoughts on going over here to Auto Club?
Auto Club is a really, really fun track here. A lot of fun to drive on, and some 3 wide, 4 wide. There's a lot of room here on this track, so hopefully we'll get some good clean racing all night.
Alrighty, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Mike Clenny for tonight's sponsor, John Hendrick over the Top Paints and Designs, as always. You Scott for KMA TV, and shout out to Becky, Michelle, and all the fans watching.
Alrighty, copy that. Good luck to you, Travis Browder.
Thanks, Scott.
A lot of support out here for PAD. As I mentioned earlier, with the paints that these drivers are running, we are having a little bit of difficulty seeing some drivers' paints, which is a shame. Oftentimes our paint program gets a little ignorant. But nonetheless, Travis Browder giving a big shout out there to John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints and Designs. And I want to match that shout with a big thank you to John Hedrick. If you ever need a paint job done, check out John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints and Designs. You can find more information out on Facebook at The Paint Shop. James Brown has worked his way up to the front, showing his support for PAD with the purple rims. James Brown, a member of CORA, Championship Online Racing Association. Now also in association, James Brown has a really good friend, Alan Larson. There's a little thing going about MaxMount, maxmount.com. These are cell phone holders, tablet holders. They're for your Galaxy, they're for your Samsung, they're for your iPhone. Stick right up there on the dash of your car or truck or vehicle, whatever you're driving. If you're driving a spaceship, they'll even work over in spaceships. Suction cup adhesive. Pop your phone or your tablet into them, and it'll help you keep your hands off of those devices, and you can be hands-free. Much better way to have things done rather than sitting there looking down at your lap, looking at things that are not that important. If you need to send a text that bad, pull it over. You've got hazard lights. Pull your car over, turn on those hazard lights, and text away. Put it in park. People Against Distracted Driving. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. First caution of the night coming out surprisingly early. Only 2 drivers involved. Ladies and gentlemen, I do promise you that tonight's race at Auto Club, it will be a barn burner once these drivers do get warmed up. Pace car in. James Brown. Mitchell Reeves off, and away. Big push there from the number 51. 32 sliding down. Ronald Klein up there in front in the number 76. Ronald Klein up there in front in the number 76 pretty much by himself. Nope, James Brown coming up into that middle lane. Now, folks, the draft will play tonight. They will get up onto this backstretch, hitting some pretty decent speeds. Not a full throttle track, maybe 1 or 2 laps full throttle, but once those tires kick in, you'll be doing a little bit of tire action out here. You're also going to notice that the line these drivers are running, looking at the number 51 of Travis Browder, perfectly legal to drop down below that wide white line. Travis Browder, Mitchell Reeves out there in the front line. Number 3 of Mark Jackson making his move out there. Over the top paints and designs. Mark Jackson looking very sharp. Showing his support for over the top paints and designs. Budweiser. Purple rims for Nikki Clenny. Edward Bray, the number 66, a brand new purple paint job. Making his way around the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Number 21 looking like he got a little bit of a push there from the number 14 of Jason Russo. Got to be real careful out here pushing on these Silverados and Toyota Tundras. Push a little bit too hard and you're going to push the driver round and round. Pat Rouchet sitting back in 9th position, or in the number 9, sitting in 13th. Working his way around the number 62. 62 of Sean Dewar. Jack Watson, the number 77. '64 of Lee Staples. 16th. And the number 63 of Glenn Jameson coming out to play tonight in the Toyota Tundra. Gary Whitmer Jr. in the number 5 pad paint job. Loving the purple around the number 5. The purple rims looking very sharp out there tonight. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Jr., one of our videographers. The pad video we did happen to take a look at, done by Gary Whitmer. Jake Ritchie in the number 17. Number 37 of Anthony Poston, 21st and 22nd position. Nick Reynolds sitting back in 22nd as the stats do update. Anthony Poston in the number 37 Thrustmaster, 23rd position. Joel Wood in the number 79. Joel Wood, AFK for a very long time. Welcome back, Joel Wood. Lloyd Saunders in the number 19. And Kevin Scott Nelson in the 224. One of my favorite drivers out here, Kevin Scott Nelson. Very conscientious driver. Very careful driver. Working along with Dave Acacia. Not ever in a hurry to get up to the front of that field. But you always see him at the front of the field where it counts. Kevin Scott Nelson, Dave Acacia. Running with Kicking Asphalt along with Jason Russo. Gary Whitmer Sr. near the rear of the field in the number 52. Ivan Garcia showing his support for PAD, with the PAD logo on the top end of the number 72 Chevy Silverado. They're on the rear end as well. Caution is out. Taking a look at contact involving the number 20 of Dave Acacia, but not sure exactly what happened and what caused it, as we do check our replay. Looks like the number 54 possibly getting down and making contact. 3-wide situation. .54 with contact onto the number 20. I'm not quite sure. That is what threw that caution. Checking our replay, and must have been a single truck spin, folks, because I am not pulling anything up on that replay. Haven't a clue, folks. Have not a clue as to what brought out the second caution of the night. Everything looks good down there to me. Dave Acacia not getting that much damage. Underneath our second caution of the night on lap 18 of 125. Mitchell Reeves out there on the front line. Leading him off into pit row along with Damon Gilbert, Travis Browder, Edward Bray, Donald Stewart. Already a couple of more cautions than I expected to have happen out here tonight. Jason Russo in pit row, pulling out. Edward Bray pulling out. The number 21 of Freeman Kelly making his way out of pit row. Mitchell Reeves out there on that front line. How about it, Mitchell? Have you got a copy?
I got you, Scott.
Alrighty, well, I tell you what, I am just a little bit out here surprised already tonight. A couple of more cautions than what I anticipated. What's going on out here?
Well, I think it's a lot to do with just understanding how people want to run this track. There's a lot of different ways to go running this track. You obviously got the bottom line and the outside, and I think a lot of people are having some issues with just compensating for people having to push up that's off the bottom. Seems like that's been kind of an issue, and seems like the aprons kind of played a factor too, but, you know, that's just kind of some of the conditions that you got to come in here and practice and get ready for. You know, these are some good racers out here. I hate that we've been having some caution issues lately, but, you know, we got more than 100 laps still to figure it out, so hopefully we can figure it out.
All righty, copy that. Now I'm taking a look at the 02 Jegs over-the-top paints and design issue. Talk to us a little bit about the paint job.
Well, this is a scheme that John Hedrick made for me a couple months ago, and we actually run it on basically all the top three NASCARs, the A's, Gen 6s, the B cars, and these. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to get a pad scheme on here. Normally, we would always try to support Mike Collini, Nicky Collini with pad. People will get distracted driving. Once again, this is one of their races, and it's always a great time here supporting that cause. Like I've always said, Mike has really stepped up and done a lot for the iRacing community and really the country just in general with what he is trying to prevent and kind of honoring his daughter in a really cool way. And it's really cool to be a part of things like this and you know, support organizations that really at the end of the day do some good for this country. And that's something with the times we're having is something we really need around here. So it's really cool to be a part of, and hopefully we get to run a lot of these as we move forward.
All right, I tell you what, you said a whole lot of great information right there. Last question. You are a racer yourself out there in the world. Talk to us real quick about that.
Yeah, I do a lot of drag racing. I have a 72 Chevelle, and I run Buddy Smith's 1997 Camaro. We're finishing up the Chevelle here in a couple weeks. We got some really, really cool sponsorship stuff and announcements we're going to make here coming up here in about 2 or 3 months. Going to be some really, really cool stuff, and they're actually going to come to iRacing too and be some of my sponsors here as well. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming with the company. Just everybody needs to stay tuned. It's going to be a really cool deal when it gets all together.
And where can we find out information?
If you look at Mitchell Reeves on Facebook, that's where we're getting it. We're actually in construction of making a Mitchell Reeves Racing webpage and Facebook page. So that'll probably be booting off here at the start of the year. But until then, we're just going to have fun, like always, that was we do at KMA Racing.
All righty. Good luck to you, Mitchell.
Thank you. Southeast out.
Mitchell Reeves running with Southeast Motorsports, looking very sharp out here. Actually winning a couple of the KMA Racing Series. Very dedicated racer, bringing his real-life racing information and ability down into the simulator. Huge supporter of PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Underneath our second caution of the night, Travis Browder leading 11 laps. Mitchell Reeves leading 7. 2 early cautions. Taking us a little bit off guard on this very long race tonight. As Mitchell said, drivers will get it together very soon. Well, they've got to. Taking a look at our top 5. Getting back to Green Flag, Mitchell Reeves, Damon Gilbert, Travis Browder, Dustin Lee, and Donald Stewart. Very strong top 5. Starts and restarts always done on leader's discretion. Pace car is in. Mitchell Reeves off that line. Travis Browder down on the inside. Already huge gaps there between Mitchell, Travis. Travis trying to tighten it up as Mitchell goes up into that outer line. Back down onto the white. Damon Gilbert, Travis Browder, side by side. Travis Browder staying down onto that inside. .32 up, Dustin Lee. 51.67, near contact. Very tight racing for both of these two drivers. But Mitchell Reeves out there making a statement. 3 drivers down onto the side path. Back up. Bobby Everhart sitting in 5th position. Straight line formation for our top 8 drivers. Pretty much in a situation of follow the leader. It's a lot easier to pass your opponents when there's a few of you out there. You know, you get into that pack race and there's nowhere to go. Common terminology, I got nowhere to go. Quit pushing on me. Right now, taking a look at Edward Bray, he is in a position finally to start getting out here and doing some passing. Side by side with the number 78 of Donald Stewart, Jason Russo in tow. '71 of Bobby Everhart. Trying to get up to the rear end of Dustin Lee. Bobby Everhart in 5th position, down onto the side. Back up on track. Looks like Edward and Bobby in very similar paint schemes out here. Jason Russo making a run on the inside around the number 66 of Edward Bray. 78 of Donald Stewart hanging on. 77 of Jack Watts. Dropping back a little bit. Jack Watts in 9th position. Jack Watts started 16th tonight. Jack Watts with a fast lap of a 39.608, running a 39.704 at the moment. Ronald Klein sitting in 10th position, running a 39.789, showing his love for Pad with the purple rims, pulling around the 211 of Tristan Beets. Tristan Beets fighting back. Pat Rouchet sitting in 9th position and in the number 9 and 12th position. Having his hands full with Tristan Beets in the 211. Up to that wall. Making a pass on the number 76 of Ronald Klein on the outside. James Brown sitting back in 13th position. Glenn Jameson in position 63, in the number 63, position 14. Started 20th, 6 spots up for Glenn Jameson. Nick Reynolds in the 54, position 15. Running a last lap of a 40.108. A little bit slower than those race leaders. Gary Whitmer Jr. with a 40.523. Gary Whitmer Jr. showing the Pad logos on the side of that Chevy Silverado. Appreciate that, Gary. First Sunday of the month, ladies and gentlemen, our Pad race. Number 20 of Dave Acacia. Side by side with Gary Whitmer. Unfortunate break for Mark Jackson. Out of it for the night. That may have been that caution that we could not find. Mark Jackson, a great driver, but sometimes it's just the track is out to get you and you can't get her going. No shame for Mark Jackson, though. He'll get him next time. Nonetheless, he was ready to look out there in that Budweiser with top paints and designs. Number 3. Joel Wood in the number 79 and 19th, down 4 spots, started 15th. Kevin Scott Nelson, position 20. Sean Dewar in the 21, side by side with 27 of Lee Ryerson. Sean Dewar looking very sharp out there tonight. 27 trying to make a run down on that inside. I want to give a big shout out to Lee Ryerson and his wife Kelly. Supporters of Pad, people against distracted at driving, having a driving daughter themselves, staying on top of her, making sure she is obeying safe driving habits and safe driving rules. Number 21 of Freeman Kelly. 21 and 23rd. JR Motorsports in that Toyota Tundra for Freeman Kelly. Lisa Dewar. Giving a big shout out there to Joel Wood. Along with Sean Dewar. Lisa having 2 drivers out here she is rooting for. On to the rear of our field, Anthony Poston in 33rd position. Toyota Thrustmaster making his way up closer to the number 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Sr. recently grieving the passing of his mother. Having to take some time off back out here on track. Number 37, Anthony Poston, making his way around the number 52 of Gary Whitmer. Lloyd Saunders in the number 19. Position 31, trying to keep pace with John Henderson. One of the good things about this 2.0 mile speedway, folks, it does allow the drivers to get spread out. Talladega, you're all bunched up. You're all tighter than a hair in a biscuit. You can't really race the track at Talladega. You're racing the draft. You're racing a lot of netcode. Out here, it is truly about who can control their vehicle on this 2 mile speedway. Lap 36 of 125. Caution is out. Taking a look at the number 9 of Pat Rouchet. Not Pat Rouchet's fault. Right there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Getting clipped by the number 76, maybe not. Nonetheless, the number 14 of Jason Russo up into the wall, throwing everything off. Number 76, number 9, and number 14 caught up into our 3rd caution of the night. And right there is the contact between the 76 and the number 9. Number 9 may have come up a little bit. That's hard to tell, folks. Nonetheless, number 9 upside down all around. What a wipeout. Therefore, the number 9 of Pat Rouchet. Tough break there for Pat. Third caution of the night, lap 37 of 125.88 to go. Back into pit row for Dustin Lee, leading him in. Damon Gilbert, Mitchell Reeves. The boys from Southeast taking positions 1, 2, and 3. Travis Browder, Donald Stewart still up there, though. Bobby Everhart sitting in 5th place position. Pretty sure Jason Russo will be relying on a backup vehicle, along with Pat Rouchet and Ronald Klein. 3 drivers caught up into our 3rd caution of the night. Edward Bray sitting in position 5. How about it, Edward? Have you got a copy?
How's it going, Scott?
Doing good, but riddle me this, riddle me that. What the heck is going on out here tonight at Auto Club? We moved it off of Talladega for a reason.
I guess some of them that are getting a little too low in the turns, trying to get that run off each turn. It's not a yellow line, but that white line will bite you. We got a couple of them that are sliding up. We already have some trucks that are starting to tap that wall, so yeah, it's hopefully things will settle down a little bit. Everybody's starting to get used to what their trucks can do and can't do.
All righty, good information right there. Now you're sporting a brand new paint job. Talk to me about the paint job.
Oh, this is a different little black talent pink skin that I'm trying out for next year, and so I've got a couple paint schemes for Pad and some of the other races that we have. So I'm trying a little bit of difference for Lee and I. We'll see how the fans like it.
All right, looking very sharp out there. And I do like how you got the pad displayed up there on the hood of the car, and they're above the rear tires. Now, you as a biker, your thoughts may be a little bit stronger for Pad. Talk to us about your thoughts on Pad.
I'm definitely for it. Here in the past, 6 months, seeing an increase of people in 4 wheels that are doing a lot of texting, a lot of talking to their kids in the back seat, and it's been scary. I've had a few close calls for people not paying attention because their phones are more important.
All righty, and oftentimes they're going to have to get into a fender bender, and hopefully it won't be a bad one. But I see it here in Illinois every day, and it's just really a disturbing thing to see. And we appreciate you coming out, all these other drivers coming out, showing your support for Pad, and spreading the word to your friends and your families.
Thanks, Scott.
Edward Bray sitting in a 5th position. Very strong top 5 with Dustin Lee, Damon Gilbert, Travis Browder, Donald Stewart, and Edward Bray. Very similar paint jobs here between the number 66 and the number 71 of Bobby Everhart. Jason Russo back out on that track in position 7. Ronald Klein making his way back out of pit row in front of that pace car. Good job, Ronald Klein. I do believe that will keep Ronald Klein on that lead lap. Mitchell Reeves sitting in pit row getting fixed up will fall 1 lap down. Ben Gear mid-pack, position 18. That is what we call the Hornet's Nest. We're going to go in-car action on this restart with Ben Gear, so you can get an idea of what it's like to be out here. We're going to keep you in car for a couple of laps. In-car action with Ben Gear. Ben Gear dropping down that inside lane behind the number 27 of Lee Ryerson. Lee Ryerson drifting upwards, keeping pace with Kevin Scott Nelson. Drivers running laps out here in the 40s. 40 point. Ben Gear with a run on the inside. Back up to the middle. Trying to find his groove around the number 27. Lap 42 of 125, 83 laps to go. 6 lead changes, 3 cautions early on. Hopefully we'll be getting into some green flag pit stops very soon. In car with Gary Whitmer Jr. Taking a look at the rear end of Lee Staples. Joel Wood sitting in 12th position. Dustin Lee, our race leader. Damon Gilbert, Travis Browder, our top 3. Glenn Jameson, position 11, side by side with James Brown. Tristan Beats, doing a great job out here. In-car action is Glenn Jameson going for a slide, and that will bring out a caution, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we were in-car action there with Glenn Jameson when he did overdrive it, going for a slight ride. And right there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Number 63 of Glenn Jameson, taking it for a ride. Tough break there for Glenn Jameson. Gary Whitmer still alive, doing a very good job. Dustin Lee out there on that front line, catching up with that pace car. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick pad commercial break, and we will be right back with you. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, in our monthly race for pad underneath our 4th caution. A little bit of a rough night out here tonight. Was not expecting the amount of cautions that the drivers already have put down. James Brown sitting back in position 11. Do want to talk to James Brown. He's got a lot of great information about pad. How about it, James? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, Scott. Good evening.
Now, I pulled you down here because you have always got some great information about pad. Can you give me that information about pad and max mount?
Well, yes, we got max mount, which is a hands-free device in support of pad, and because of the hands-free driving for your well, I don't want to say cell phone, for your device, because it'll handle a GPS or whatnot, and it's just all about hands-free driving, distracted-free driving, and pad or Cora and max mount are firm believers in pad and supporters.
All right, copy that, and certainly glad you are. Now, you mentioned Cora. Do talk to us about Cora.
Championship Online Racing Association. We have ran 5 full seasons. Right now, we haven't. We're in a hiatus. We did a total reset. We were hoping to get going this winter. It is a money league, and since we started, we've paid back over $35,000 back to the drivers.
$35,000 back to the drivers. That is impressive. I'm going to have to come over and get me some of that. Now, obviously, it's on Sunday, but when and where can I find out more information about Cora?
You can go to the Cora website, and that's coraracing.com. And there's also a Cora Facebook page, and well, I guess it's Cora Max Mount, and the Max Mount page all have Cora information on it.
All righty. I appreciate your time, James. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Scott, and thanks KMA and Pat.
James Brown and the Cora Championship Online Racing Association, their Sunday Money Series. That's a lot of money. $30-some thousand given out. Drivers are lining up, double file. Going to be getting back to green flag racing here very shortly. Still waiting for those green flag pit stops to take place. Dustin Lee leading 14 laps. Travis Browder leading 12. Jason Russo on his backup vehicle up to third position. Pretty sure he's going to stay up front this time. Donald Stewart, Edward Bray, Nick Reynolds, Joel Wood, Tristan Beats, Bobby Everhart in 11th. Sean Dewar sitting in 13th. Gary Whitmer Jr. in 15th. Joel Guy sitting in 23rd. Jack Watson 24th position. And Gary Whitmer Sr. 28th. Ronald Klein 29th. Ronald Klein on that lead lap. All drivers actually on that lead lap, including Dave Casey. Dave Casey hurrying up to catch that field, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Pace car is in. Very solid restart for the number 32 and the number 67 of Damon Gilbert. Travis Browder, Donald Stewart, Nick Reynolds. Nick Reynolds having some damage onto the rear end. Backed into a telephone pole, Piers. Nothing is going to slow him down as he is side by side with the number 14 of Jason Russo. Edward Bray holding very solid at 7th position. Donald Stewart down to that white. Travis Browder down, back up. Side by side, 14 and 54. Edward Bray knocking on the rear end of Nick Reynolds. Lap 50 of 125 in the books. Bobby Everhart in the number 71 tonight. Racing around the number 211 of Tristan Beats. Tristan Beats, a relatively young driver. Bobby Everhart, a veteran driver. Very tight quarters there for the 71, the 70, the 211, and the 66. 211 with a run. Edward leaving that door open, and Tristan Beats going to take full advantage of it. And he is around the number 66, almost, not quite. Cannot quite complete it. Edward Bray fighting back on that outside lane. Nice little rumble in the jungle here for these three drivers. Edward Bray one more time down. Now Edward Bray not taking advantage of going below that white line. Some drivers like it, some drivers don't. Some drivers Swear it slows you down. Tristan Beats not able to complete that pass on Edward Bray. Having his hands full with Bobby Everhart. Joel Wood in the number 79, position 11 tonight. Pat Rouchet. And here comes the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson racing. Pat Rouchet and James Brown for position 12. Gary Whitmer Jr. back there as well. Gary Whitmer Jr. sitting in 15 in the number 5. Doing a great job tonight. Gary Whitmer Jr., a huge supporter of Pat. Actually met Mike. Caution is out. I believe that involved the number 54 of Nick Reynolds. We're going to take a look at that. Jason Russo possibly, and right there it is with Jason Russo. And the number 54 of Nick Reynolds. We're going to let these two drivers sort that out on the track, because I tell you what, that there was just too tight to tell, ladies and gentlemen. Edward Bray not able to get through it as he runs into the number 54 of Nick Reynolds. There's nothing he could do about it. Nick Reynolds going for a ride. 71 through it. Tough break there for Edward Bray. Nick Reynolds taking a tough hit into that wall. Dustin Lee up there on that front line. Leading his 21st lap. 5 cautions out here tonight. Rough night at Auto Club. Going to have to move these boys back over to Talladega or Daytona or something. I'll tell you what, folks. But the main thing that we're getting across tonight is PAD, People Against Distracted at Driving. In iRacing, we have good nights and we have bad nights. But we want to make sure that you always have a good day and night out there. Giving you a little bit of education here with PAD, People Against Distracted Driving, PADD.org. If you'd like to contribute to PAD, you can go to their website, purchase t-shirts, wristbands, bumper stickers. A lot of merchandise out there on the PAD website. Show your support for PAD, primarily by keeping the phones down. Gary Whitmer Jr. in the number 5. Now, we were telling you a story about Gary Whitmer Jr. Be a little bit easier to let Gary tell that story. How about it, Gary? Have you got a copy?
I got you, Scott.
All right, we were talking to our fans about you meeting Mike Kaleni. Is that a true story?
Yes, it is. In April of last year, me and the wife took a trip to New Jersey and was in the Walk for PAD.
Now, what exactly is the Walk for PAD?
It's a 5K walk around it was at a park, and everybody that signed up walked the park.
Alrighty. Now, tell us how we can help out PAD.
Check out padd.org. That's pad.org, and you can actually donate to get wristbands, t-shirts, stickers, and then all the funds and everything goes to support PAD and the Nikki Kaleni Foundation.
Alrighty, a lot of good information out there. Lap 57, and we're 5 cautions in. I'm a little bit taken off guard. How about you?
Yeah, I'm just going to run the track. There's still a learning curve in the trucks here at Auto Club for me, so I'm just going to try to take it easy and see what happens.
And what's the atmosphere out there on this 2-mile speedway?
I think up front they're talking about the guys are wearing their tires out, and then everybody else is kind of falling back, and then eventually we'll catch up.
All right, you're looking good out there in that brand new pad number 5.
Thanks, Scott.
Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer meeting Mike Clenny. Pretty cool stuff. Dustin Lee out there on that front line. Doing a very good job out here tonight. How about it, Dustin? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me guess your game plan. Stay up front. What do you think?
Oh, yes. Try to stay out here as far as I can, away from everybody and all the trouble.
Well, I tell you what, we've run Auto Club several times, and we have far surpassed the amount of cautions of which I'm accustomed to myself. What's going on out here at Auto Club? Because it's not going quite the way that we had hoped for.
I don't know. I mean, overall, the set in the truck is pretty good. It's not really, really loose or anything. If anything, it's really tight. So, I'm not sure.
Now, Gary had mentioned that he thinks a lot of drivers might be using up their tires. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It is kind of hard on the tires. I know I've kind of tried to manage mine, but try to keep my distance out here too. I know the draft is really good here, so it's hard to really step away any at all.
All righty, now I want you to tell me a little bit about your team down there you're running with.
It's same old group of guys, Southeast Motorsports. We've been here, there, everywhere, and we still stuck together. Just a good group of friends that race together.
All right, we're glad to have you over here, and good luck to you and the boys at Southeast.
All right, thank you, and also shout out to Over Top Paints and Design too as well.
All righty, copy that. Big shout out there to Over the Top Paints and Designs and the boys over at Southeast, consisting of Jack Watts, Mitchell Reeves, Dustin Lee, Damon Gilbert, and Nick Reynolds. 5 of the Southeast drivers in the house tonight. 2 of them up front, Dustin and Damon. Nick Reynolds 2 laps down in 32nd position. Jack Watts 1 lap down in position 30. Pace car is in, and away we go one more time. Lap 58. 67 to go, nearing that halfway point here in the monthly Race 4 pad. Damon Gilbert jumping up high, number 51, Travis Browder, 78, Donald Stewart, side by side. Travis with a run. Donald staying out. Edging up to that wall, trying to get a run. Sean Dewar going side by side with Tristan Beats. Sean Dewar on that inside lane trying to make a run. One thing we will notice with these cautions and these drivers going in, they're going to be coming out with fresh tires. That'll give them about 2, 3, 4 laps maybe where they can run it out balls to the wall. But that might be the problem, folks. As they do go around this 2-mile speedway, the tires will start to slide. Tristan Beats getting a little close onto that wall, closer than what I'd like to be onto it. Pat Rouchet sitting in 7th position. Very close onto the rear end. Caution is out. Taking a look at Lloyd Saunders. Now right there is a classic example of a driver over driving that track. I mean, there's just no other way around it. Comes down on that white line, goes for a ride. Lloyd Saunders going sideways. But again, fortunately, this track big enough to where no other drivers got caught up into it. Lloyd Saunders bringing out our 6th caution of the night. Well, I tell you what, folks, I do not know about y'all, but they are wearing me out. We got a lot of great drivers out here, but Auto Club, well, they talk about the other track, the Monster Mile, you know, Too Tough to Tame. I don't know. Auto Club tonight taking its toll. 6 lead changes, 6 cautions. That's not the way those numbers are supposed to be. Lloyd Saunders in the Chevy Silverado going for a single self-spin, bringing out our 6th caution of the night in our monthly race for PAD. The good thing is we're going to keep talking about PAD. We're going to keep impressing upon our race fans the importance of PAD going into pit row with Lloyd Saunders. Pit row showing its get a lot of action out here in pit row tonight. Everybody get along in pit row. That's a good thing. Just can't get along out there on that track. Lloyd Saunders pulling into his pit box. We're going to get Lloyd on the phone. See if we can find him up on those race communications. How about it, Lloyd? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
How you doing, Lloyd?
You're doing better if I keep it off the apron.
Copy that. Well, that's why I pulled you up here, sir. Not to draw any more attention, but I haven't yet talked to a driver that has gotten into trouble out here. What is going on out here? What happened to you when you hit that apron? You went for a ride? Talk us through that.
Yeah, I just got her front wheel down too low. I thought I saved it, but she hooked right and just all downhill from there.
Does any of that have any bearing on the amount of tire wear? Were your tires a little slick? Did you not have grip?
I only caught about half that.
What is the condition of your tires as that incident happened?
5 or 6 laps, and you start to slide after that. You got to slow down.
All righty. Anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Shout out to everybody watching, really. Appreciate all the fans. You know, glad they're here.
All right. A little bit of a rough night, but you are still on that lead lap, so get out there and get her done.
I'm going to hang to the back and hope for the best.
Lloyd Saunders in the rear of the field in the position number 25. Ronald Klein sitting in position 16th. How about it, Ronald? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir, Scott, go ahead.
Auto Club, Too Tough to Tame tonight. What do you think?
I'm shocked, Scott. I really am. There's been a lot of aggressive driving out here. Looks like some of the guys are overdriving the trucks, and a lot of unfortunate incidences.
Now, we have talked to a few drivers, and we are hearing them talking about tire wear and maybe getting out 5 or 6 laps. Talk us about that scenario.
I'm actually kind of just running with James Brown, kind of just in the channel. We're talking, and we're just kind of taking it easy for the first few laps. I mean, we're not letting anybody really walk away from us, but we're not really pushing the trucks very hard at all. And we're seeing about after about 10 to 15 laps, those trucks up in front of us or the trucks that passed us slow down drastically, and we've been able to drive by them. So we'd love to see some green flags and see what these trucks really have in them, and see what our tire wear really looks like, because I think the longest run that we've got is about 15 or 18 laps.
We are still looking at about 28 drivers out there on that lead lap, so that's not bad. We started out here with, I do believe, 36. We're down to 28. Do you think the cautions are done?
Unfortunately, with the way things have been going tonight, I don't. I hope they are, but I don't. And I do recall talking to you at the last special event, and I thought that going to a different track would make a difference, but just doesn't really seem to be that way.
Well, you know, we do got a full moon. We can always blame it on the moon. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Scott. Have a great night.
Ronald Klein in the number 76 running with RTK Motorsports. Big shout out there to Ronald Klein. And not convinced that we are done with cautions for the night. We are just over the halfway point. Lap 64 of 125. 61 to go. But a bit of a rough night out here tonight. 6 cautions totaling 24 laps. Dustin Lee, Damon Gilbert out there on that front line. Dustin Lee, Damon Gilbert trying very hard to stay up and out of the problem. Donald Stewart almost pushing on the number 51 of Travis Browder. Sean Dewar sitting in 5th position. Pat Rouchet, Tristan Beats, Mitchell Reeves. Just a little bit while ago, Mitchell Reeves was in the rear of that field. Due to a caution, possibly not pitting, has worked his way back up towards the front. Mitchell Reeves, a definite go-getter, and right now he is going to get her. Side by side with the number 9 of Pat Rouchet. Lee Staples making his move. Joel Wood still in that top 10, position 8 for Joel Wood. Lee Staples sitting in position 9. Pat Rouchet, a painter himself. Pat's Skins, I do believe, is the name of Pat Rouchet's little paint thing he's got going on. Racing very nicely against Mitchell Reeves. Overall, I got to say, I do think the drivers are not treating each other bad out here tonight. I just think that maybe they are positioning themselves onto this track as that of a super speedway. I called it a 2-mile speedway, but this is not Talladega. You have got to back out. You have got to respect the tire wear. Dustin Lee, Damon Gilbert, Travis Browder, Donald Stewart, Mitchell Reeves back into that top 5. Racing hard with Sean Dewar. Pat Rouchet in that inside lane. We talk about drivers leaving doors open. We're seeing a lot of up and down by these drivers. Really no definitive door to be left open. James Brown, Ronald Klein, both drivers supporting Purple Pride on their rims. We appreciate that, guys. This is the monthly Race 4 Pad. Folks, this time of year, nearing Christmas, we're out and about, we're shopping, spending money, laughing, having a good time. We want to keep it that way. Our phones are probably ringing double time. Hubby calls us, the wife calls us. Don't forget to pick up the milk. You get to your car, you got the car loaded up, you get out there at the stoplight, phone rings, or you get a text, and you go for your phone. That's not good, ladies and gentlemen. We want to make sure you make it another year. If the text is that important, pull the car over. Stopping at a stoplight, that's not going to cut it. Several times I have been held up by a driver paying more attention to their cell phone at a stoplight. Light changes color, and we're sitting there, and we're sitting there, and we're sitting there till I get pissed off and I blow my horn. Put the phone down, for the love of God. People Against Distracted Driving, PADD.org. Going to the rear of our field, checking out Jason Russo, flying solo, position 28, 21 seconds back. Lloyd Saunders, position 26. Gary Whitmer, position 27. 13-second gap off of our race leader. John Henderson and Joel Guy, side by side. John Henderson with a good run, passing Joel Guy. Joel Guy, Purple Pride, looking very sharp out there tonight in the number 91 Chevy Silverado. Ivan Garcia, Anthony Poston. Ivan Garcia, this coming Saturday, we're going to put on a happy birthday race for Ivan Garcia. 125 laps at Michigan in the Camping World Series trucks. And that will be the happy birthday Ivan Garcia. These drivers have not been to Michigan for a while. It'll be interesting to see how they do. Danny Rudy in the number 29. Big shout out there to Dan's Top Notch Heating and Cooling. Tristan Beats, 19th. Jack Watts sitting in 18th position. Number 20 up, David Casey at 27 of Lee Ryerson Jr. and the number 17 of Jake Ritchie. Now here is some nice battling going on. Drivers battling for 15th position belonging to Gary Whitmer. $75 of 125 in the books. A little bit of a rough night out here tonight for these drivers. 6 cautions here at Auto Club. We will be holding our Santadega at Auto Club this year. Hopefully the track will be a little bit kinder at our Santadega, brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. That will be on Saturday, December 23rd. 125 laps at Auto Club, Saturday, December 23rd for the 4th annual Santadega. Big shout out there to John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints and Designs for that sponsorship. Number 54 sitting in the midst of this. 54 of Nick Reynolds, 2 laps down. Trying to race his way back the hard way to get those 2 laps down onto the rear end of his teammate Jack Watts. Still hoping to see some green flag pit stops out here tonight. James Brown in the number 11, Kevin Scott Nelson. Now, I'd mentioned to you earlier, a couple of drivers would be staying together, but Kevin Scott Nelson, a little bit of a split off from his partner, David Casey. Ronald Klein has moved up to 10th position. James Brown in 11th, Kevin Scott Nelson in 12th. Lee Staples up to 9th. Joel Wood, Pat Rouchet sitting in 8th and 7th. Sean Dewar sitting in 6th. 2.5 seconds back off of our race leader. Donald Stewart in 5th, 1.2 back. But I tell you what, these top 4 tonight, Mitchell Reeves, Travis Browder, Dustin Lee, Damon Gilbert. We have got 3 of the 4 being Southeast Motorsports. Very impressive run out here tonight for Southeast. Travis Browder running with the guys from Maximum Velocity Racing. Travis Browder dropping to 4th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, Southeast Motorsports. Very impressive. Very impressed with Mitchell Reeves, as he was in the rear of the field just a few laps ago. Mitchell Reeves bringing those real-life racing skills down to the simulator. '67 and 32, Damon Gilbert, Dustin Lee, positions 1 and 2. Won't be too long, though. They're dealing with lap traffic of Jason Russo. Jason Russo 1 lap down. Allowing safe passage. Jason Russo sporting some damage up onto the front end of that Chevy Silverado. That will slow you down a little bit here at Auto Club. .211 of Tristan beats Danny Rudy. Number 37 of Anthony Poston. These two drivers, they have been going at it just about all night long. Danny Rudy with a big run, 37, maybe in trouble. Or maybe Danny just hit the Gatorade juice or something. Danny Rudy flying by. .211 trying to make a move on the number 29. Side by side. Number 91 of Joel Guy taking a hard look at all this racing going on. Anthony Poston still trying to get back what he just lost. In-car camera with Anthony Poston. Got a run on the 211. 3 wide, split the middle, up the middle. Here I go. Anthony Poston finding a little bit of grip out there. 211 Tristan Beats down on his inside. Joel Guy starting to run away. Joel Guy showing his support for Pad. People against distracted driving. Sitting in position 20th. James Brown still trying to work his way around the number 64 of Lee Staples with Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein up to 9th position. Ronald Klein up that track in front. Ronald Klein scraping that wall. Not enough to slow him down too much. In fact, gets around Lee Staples. But we did see sparks flying off the right side of that Chevy Silverado. Not a whole lot of damage being done to the 76. Must have just grazed it. That will not affect his driving at all. Ronald Klein with RTK Motorsports. James Brown, Kevin Scott Nelson tight in tow. Pat Richey has dropped to 2.7 seconds back off of our race leader. Mitchell Reeves was in third. Mitchell Reeves has now dropped 3 seconds back off of his teammates Dustin Lee and Damon Gilbert. Pat Richey sitting in the number 9 in position 4. Sean Dewar sitting in position 5. Mitchell Reeves position 6th. And Joel Wood. We are 3 wide here at Auto Club with Joel Wood. Nope, not quite. Joel Wood up to the outside trying to get around Sean Dewar. Side by side, Mitchell Reeves, Sean Dewar. Lot of room out here at Auto Club, which is why I'm really surprised about the 6 cautions. Now, it has been a while since we have had a caution. Definitely want to keep it that way. Travis Browder sitting in 3rd position. Going to be dealing with a little bit of lap traffic here. Dustin Lee, David Gilbert still out there in the front. Lap traffic of Edward Bray in the number 66. Side by side with Travis. Dustin Lee starting to make a run off of Damon Gilbert. Southeast Motorsports positions 1 and 2. Lloyd Saunders still alive. Freeman Kelly sitting back in 20th position. All right, folks, with 36 laps to go, one more quick commercial break, but we're going to keep that on that 4x4 action. We'll be right back with you. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with our first round of green flag pit stops. Pat Richey pulling into pit row, along with the number 67 and the 211 of Tristan Beats. Green flag pit stops finally beginning to develop out here at Auto Club. Pat Richey taking lefts and taking rights, number 67 in and out of pit row. Pat Richey being held for a penalty. Tough break there for Pat Richey. Gary Whitmer in and out of pit row, as well as the number 27 of Lee Ryerson. Drivers making their way back up onto this 2-point mile speedway. First round of green flag pit stops. Here coming in at lap 93 of 125. That'll put Kevin Scott Nelson a little bit closer up there to that front line. But Kevin Scott Nelson not yet making his round of green flag pit stops. Travis Browder, I do believe, heading off into pit row. Travis Browder, indeed, into pit row. In-car action, pit row with Travis Browder. Travis Browder, our pole sitter tonight. Fastest lap in qualifying. Taking rights, taking lefts. Travis Browder taking off. Travis Browder in the number 51 Toyota Tundra. That'll put Kevin Scott Nelson out there on that front line. Followed by Ivan Garcia. Ivan Garcia 12 seconds back off of Kevin Scott Nelson. Kevin Scott Nelson coming up onto the rear end of Edward Bray. And making his way into pit row. A couple of more drivers making their way into pit row. Green flag pit stops, hard to come by out here tonight. But along about lap 93, they start developing. Ivan Garcia into pit row. Lloyd Saunders into pit row. Checking in with our current race leader, Damon Gilbert. Dustin Lee back out there on that front line. Mitchell Reeves, positions 1, 2, and 3 once again. Travis Browder sitting back into 4th place. If this goes green, ladies and gentlemen, we could have some domination out here by Southeast Motorsports. They've put on a very impressive run out here tonight. They've got an impressive lead on Travis Browder. Travis Browder sitting at 5.2 seconds back. As long as that caution does not come out, this may be the night for Damon Gilbert, Dustin Lee, or Mitchell Reeves for a first place at Auto Club in our monthly Race 4 pad. .22 drivers still out on that lead lap. Danny Rudy, last driver on that lead lap, 35 seconds back. Lloyd Saunders sitting at 33 back. Side by side with Nick Reynolds. Nick Reynolds 2 laps down. Anthony Poston. Joel Guy positions 19th and 20th. Lap 99 of 125. 26 laps to go. Jake Ritchie, 22 seconds back off of our race leader. and the number 17 in position 18. Now we've seen Donald Stewart be a front runner in the top 5 tonight quite often. Donald Stewart has dropped 2 positions, 17. Same situation with Pat Boucher, down 2 position 16. 20 seconds off of our race leader. Joel Wood, position 15. And Gary Whitmer Jr., position 14 in the number 5. Gary Whitmer Jr. doing an exceptional job out here tonight, representing PAD. People Against Distracted Driving. Lee Ryerson and Dave Acacia battling for position 12. Lee Ryerson to the outside. Kevin Scott Nelson, Jack Watts just a stone's throw ahead of Dave Acacia. Having their own nice little battle here for 10th position. Ben Gear in the number 4. Ben having a win this week. Big shout out there to Ben Gear. Loving the purple rims. James Brown representing PAD, Cora, and Maxmount has made his way up to position 8. Still, though, 11 seconds behind our race leader, Dustin Lee, Damon Gilbert, and Mitchell Reeves. Lee Staples representing Black Talon Race in position 7. Doing a good job out here tonight, staying out of trouble. Best that he can. Ronald Klein working his way up to position 6th. Very impressed with Ronald Klein tonight. He has been extremely solid. Lap by lap, working his way forward. 22 laps for Ronald Klein to get the job done, sitting at 8.9 seconds back off of our race leader. Sean Dewar battling his way towards the front, right now in 5th, 4.5 seconds back. But he's going to have to work his way around Travis Browder. And Travis Browder, he has been a handful tonight, I'll tell you what. He has been top 5 consistent. Mitchell Reeves taking over 2nd position from Damon Gilbert. Dustin Lee, though, the man to beat. 51 laps led. 51. That is a whole lot of laps. Dustin Lee definitely knowing what he's doing out here. Going to go in car with Dustin Lee and take a look at his line. Maybe we can learn a little bit. Up onto that wall, coming around on lap traffic. Now notice Dustin does not get down below that white line like we've seen other drivers do. Until we get to this point on the track, then he gets down there. Nice merge back up. Nice pass on the lap traffic. Last lap of a 40.435 for Dustin Lee. Fast lap of a 39.483. So almost a full second off of that fast lap. 19 more laps to go. So we are looking at approximately 9 more minutes for Dustin Lee to keep doing what Dustin Lee does best. Damon Gilbert, second place. Travis Browder up to third. Mitchell Reeves might be in trouble. He has dropped down to fifth position. Mitchell Reeves into the wall. Able to get back around Sean Dewar. A little bit of right side damage there on Mitchell Reeves. Definite right side damage as Sean Dewar comes back around. That may slow down Mitchell just a hair. Ronald Klein coming around Mitchell Reeves. Ronald Klein up to fifth position. 8.5 seconds back. Tough break for Mitchell Reeves. Up into that wall, slowing him down. Ronald Klein now on a mission to chase down Sean Dewar. 20 drivers still out here on this lead lap at Auto Club in the monthly Race 4 pad. Gary Whitmer Jr. side by side with Joel Wood. Joel Wood has been a good contender out here tonight. Right now sitting in 14th. Gary Whitmer Jr. in 13th. Lee Ryerson putting on a good show in position 12, coming up onto the number 4. Number 4 lap traffic. No, Ben Gear on that lead lap, actually. Number 4 is Ben Gear. The way Lee Ryerson came around Ben Gear, looked like he was allowing safe passage. Lee Ryerson up to a top 10. Jack Watts making his way back up to 7th. Battling James Brown. James Brown up high. Jack Watts down low. Jack Watts 12.8 seconds back, and Kevin Scott Nelson getting his feet wet up here with James Brown and Jack Watts. Jack Watts doing everything he can to protect that 6th place position. James Brown, Kevin Scott Nelson side by side. Number 20F, David Casey is still in it. David Casey in position 9. This little pack of drivers right here, folks, they are battling it out for position 6th. Lap 112, 113 of 125. 12 laps to go, 12 laps to get her done. Dustin Lee, David Gilbert, Travis Browder. Our top 3. Ronald Klein, Sean Dewar putting on one good show out here tonight. Ronald Klein up to 4th position. Sean Dewar dropping down to 5th, but not going to settle down for it. Sean Dewar sitting in 5th, Ronald in 4th. Number 29, will be lap traffic. That'll be the 29 of Danny Rudy. Ronald Klein flying past the number 29 of Danny Rudy. Still a 9.5 seconds off of that race leader. Not sure Ronald Klein is going to catch Dustin tonight. I'm not sure Damon is going to catch Dustin tonight. Damon sitting at 1 second back. Travis Browder at 3.1 back. Damon Gilbert, 0.8. Dustin Lee up there in that front, trying to hang on for 10 to go. Travis Browder looking very solid in third position. Really no competition out here for that third position spot. Travis Browder will be coming up on the lap traffic of Edward Bray. Edward Bray up to the high side, allowing Travis by. Travis Browder sliding up very close to Edward Bray. No contact. But I think it might have freaked Edward out a little bit. 3.3 seconds back for Travis Browder off of our race leader. Positions 1 and 2, Dustin Lee, Damon Gilbert. Damon closing that gap with 8 to go. Dustin Lee leading 64 of 125 laps. Just over about half the race, Dustin Lee has led. 8 laps to get her done. Still very nice competition here with James Brown, David Casia, Kevin Scott Nelson. This is the hottest action we have on this track at this point in time. Barring disaster, we should end tonight under green flag racing. Don't really foresee another caution coming out in our monthly race for PAD. We've had 6, and that's really about 5 too many. Stay tuned after the race, ladies and gentlemen, for post-race interviews. Ronald Klein, 4th position, 10.1 seconds back with 6 to go. We're going to be talking to positions 1, 2, and 3. Getting their thoughts on the race tonight and a little bit more information about PAD. As Gary Jr. told us, go to padd.org. T-shirts, wristbands, several other goodies out there at pad.org. Show your support. Support padd.org. Support the idea of people against distracted driving. Put your phones down. When I'm out and about, my phone is actually in my trunk. Carry it on the side of my work tools. Work tools go into the trunk. And I just leave the phone there. I'm driving. Got no need for that phone. I get to my next job site. I check my phone. I check my phone before I leave the job site, and it goes into the trunk. Never even a temptation for me. But if you do have that phone up in front, you need to get a hold of a MaxMount phone holder. Check them out at maxmount.com. Hands-free is better than holding that phone for sure. Travis Browder at 4.1 back with 4 to go. Damon Gilbert still trying to chase down Dustin Lee with 3 to go. Coming around the lap traffic of the number 37 of Anthony Poston. Anthony, first driver, 1 lap down. Now, if the caution does come out from here on, that will seal the field. We would not get back to green flag racing. Damon Gilbert, 0.8 back, working his way around the lap traffic of the number 17, trying to catch up with Dustin Lee in the number 32. Number 17, lap traffic of Jake Ritchie. Yielding up to the high side, letting Damon Gilbert have that run. Two laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 123 of 125 in the books. Dustin Lee leading 70. Damon Gilbert leading 23. Travis Browder leading 13. Last lap, ladies and gentlemen. Damon Gilbert falling to 1.1 back. Lap 124 of 125, 1 to go, 13 lead changes. 6 cautions, totaling out 24 laps. Lap 125, Dustin Lee bringing it home tonight. Grueling race, but wow, definitely kicking some butt out here tonight. Good job there too. Dustin Lee leading 72 laps. How about it, Travis Browder? Have you got a copy?
Hey Scott, how are you? I made it 3 laps to the good to the finish.
You made it 3 laps to the good to the finish. Well, keep talking to me about tonight's race.
Good racing tonight. We did see green flag pit stops. We'll take 3rd place, and we'll go get him in Charlotte this week.
All righty. No, you're not going to get off that easy. I want to hear a little bit about what it was like out there, because you know you made up several positions. You had some green flag pit stops. Give me a little bit more information, Travis.
Oh yeah, it was a good race. I took 4 tires on the last pit stop. Just trying to get everything I could to catch up to them drivers, but everybody raced clean there in the late stages of the race. That was a good race tonight. So I love Auto Club. Can't wait for the next one.
All righty, good job, Travis Browder, taking 3rd place.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Michael.
Sitting in 2nd place, we have got Damon Gilbert. How about it, Damon?
Yeah, I got you.
Now, you led out here tonight quite a few laps, 23. Not quite in comparison to your teammate there, Dustin Lee. But on the last few laps, you almost had him. You were up there to 0.6, 0.06, 0.07 back. Did you think you were going to catch him?
There was maybe 15 to go. I was 1.3 back or something like that. And I started to run him down a little bit. But then the fuel economy came into play. I had no gas in the car. Car got tight. You know how it goes. Lap traffic. So I mean, at the end there, I kind of knew he had me. He was he was pretty much quicker than me the whole night. Maybe on fresh tires I was a little bit better, but he was faster. So
now I do got to ask you, what happened to your teammate Mitchell Reeves, because you guys were 1, 2, and 3 for the longest time.
Yeah, I have no idea.
All right, well, I tell you what, Damon Gilbert, I've got an idea here. I think you kicked some butt out here. Great job out here at Auto Club.
Yeah, thank you.
All righty, how about it, Dustin Lee?
Yes, sir.
Very impressive out here tonight, leading 72 laps. You obviously know your way around Auto Club.
Honestly, I never really liked this place, but I think the past 2 times I've run here, I think I've won. So maybe I'll start to change my mind here.
Well, it obviously came down to tire wear. We saw several drivers spin out and get loose, but you were complete in control. How comfortable were you, though, out there leading all those 72 laps?
Truck felt pretty good. I felt like the longer it went on, the kind of the better the truck got, honestly. Yeah, Damon, he was a lot faster than I was on cold tires there, and I could. Only thing I could do was keep up and pretty much in his draft at that point.
All righty, tell me real quick about Southeast. Any painters and any sponsors?
Yeah, thanks for Team Southeast Motorsports, and thank David here for working with me too tonight. And also Overtop Paints, Ollerfield Welding, and also thank Pat and KMA putting this on too. Thank you guys for all y'all do.
All right, I tell you what, you did a great job. And we have got a Southeast Motorsports 1 and 2. In fact, I will say Southeast dominated tonight out here at Auto Club. Good job, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to post up those results. What a race out here. A little heavy on the cautions for sure. No doubt about that. But I tell you what, Damon and Dustin and Travis getting the job done out here. Also, honorable mention there too, Ronald Klein finishing up with 4th place position, and Jack Watts rounding out our top 5. Check us out next week, ladies and gentlemen. We are running at Charlotte on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And on Saturday, the happy birthday Ivan Garcia for 125 laps at Michigan. Going to be a lot of fun out there on Saturday at Michigan. Most importantly, if you can take one thing with you, ladies and gentlemen, People Against Distracted Driving. A big shout out there too, Over the Top Paints and Designs, doing all his work and continuing to include the pad logos with everything that he does. People Against Distracted Driving. Check him out at padd.org. I am Scott Kolovic. This is KMA TV, and we are out of here.